makes most women start a business? Is it passion, money, or freedom? Welcome to Female Founders, the podcast that takes you behind the scene with women who are founders and CEOs to help you start and scale a successful business of your own. I am your host, Nagelia Deravin. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Female Founders. In today's episode, I have the pleasure of speaking with Jenia Serebrin. Jenia is the founder and CEO of Serebrin Group, LLC, located in the heart of Los Angeles. She is also the visionary behind the Abundance Summit, Unlock the Power of Your Mind to Attract Wealth and Success, where she empowers individuals to embrace abundance, gratitude, and empowerment in their financial lives. Join me as I explore the world of numbers, mindset, and the transformative power of financial perspective with Jenia. Hi, Jenia. What a pleasure to have you here with me today. So now, can you tell us about your journey into the world of tax accounting and how you come to view numbers and taxes as easy as fun? Because, for me, when you say taxes, you said numbers, I run.
Yes. Hi, everyone. Well, that's been a journey, actually. I'm an immigrant. And when I came to this country, I realized my dream to become an excellent interpreter is not going to happen because there are so many people out here in Los Angeles who are doing so much better. And then I realized, okay, so what else can I do? How can I make an impact? What I know that can serve other people and can help me. And I realized that math has always been the strongest point, because my dad would always stress, okay, guys, I have 4 sisters. So I understand that sometimes we believe that women are used to believe back then, women are supposed to sit at home, take care of the babies and all that good stuff. However, you are no longer, you're not, the boys are
You don't
not
have to do that pretty much.
The boys are not better than you. You can do whatever they can. So, and math is one of the requirements. So we would do a lot of chess. We would do a lot of things that would, excel us at math and all that good stuff. So when I came to America, I realized that, okay, so I can do stuff like this. I helped my ex-husband setting up his companies, QuickBooks, whatever you name it, Excel. And it comes very easy and naturally to me. So that's why I always say when you say numbers are easy, it's going to be easy because that's your whole mindset. That's where you're going to be, right? And then here in America, I would do bookkeeping. I worked for an attorney's office and I ran the accounting department there. And one time I realized that there's one part that's missing. One part that scares you the most is, for a lot of people, taxes. Tax returns, you would look at that and you would be like, oh my God, this is so icky and this is so kind of, unknown, and I don't want to even touch it, right? And of course, for me, it turned out to be a very cool challenge. Okay, let's go. Let's find out what's so scary about accounting, what's so scary about taxes. That's how pretty much I got into the master's degree program at Golden Gate University, and I had amazing professors. One of them was I don't even remember his, position, something deputy IRS, one of the big cheeses, and he literally says, so guys, there are people on the other side, right? There is a program, there are people on the other side. So the tax preparers are there to make sure that everything is properly put on the tax return. So they would, apply the rules and regulations, which is going to be you, which means that you get to read the instructions, you get to look into new forms, and you get to be the advocate for the taxpayers. And the whole idea about the Internal Revenue Code and all that good stuff, that you owe the exact amount of tax and not a penny more. But who decides that, right? Well, who decides? First of all, the Internal Revenue Code decides, but you get to be ready for that. You get to know your numbers. And at the same time, when you decide that taxes are easy, if you have everything ready If you have everything like in order, there is no fear. You know exactly what happened, let's say in 2022. You know exactly how much money you spend for your business, for personal, on personal life and all that good stuff. So there is no that like darkness, right? There is no uncertainty, and you are confident that you have everything and everything is in order. So, and that's pretty much a long answer for your question. That's how I got into taxation. And then once I got the master's degree, I worked for the accounting firm, and I would prepare the tax returns for fancy people, producers, stars, large real estate partnerships and all that good stuff. And it still comes down to the same thing. If you're organized, everything is very easy and it flows. If you're not organized, it's mess. Yes. So my mission in this life, at least for the women population, for the females, to take control of that side. It doesn't matter whether you run your own business or you run your own family. Sometimes family is a business for us. We need to budget. You need to make sure that you have enough money to pay for groceries, for bills, for mortgage, for kids, right? So it's the same thing running the business. As long as you keep your numbers and you enjoy it, meaning enjoy that you decided that it's going to be easy. It's going to be all fine. It's all going to work out, always.
What a great point you just brought up. I never think of it that way. We're actually doing budgeting for our own home. We're making sure, okay, can we spend extra money this month? Do we have extra to go on vacation this holiday? How much money do we need to save at the beginning of the year to be able to take vacation for summer? So we are doing it all. It's just we never really put the two together, When it comes to the business part, we get scared, but it's pretty much the same thing. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. So another thing that I'd like you guys to think about it, how you look at this is everything. So your mind is such a unique machine or energy source that it either is going to take you to the positive or negative, right? So let's just look at this. Math, there are no emotions in math, right? 2 + 2 = 4. Nobody feels scared. Nobody feels, some kind of icky. It's 2 + 2 = 4. So why all of a sudden when we look at the tax returns or when we look at the financial statements, we get that feeling like, oh my God, we're not making enough money, we're spending too much, or the bookkeeping is uncertain and messy. It's the same numbers, right? So the second you decide to remove your personal emotions, remove everything, and just literally look at the numbers and you see, okay, this month the business made this much money. Okay, so did we talk to people? Did we network? Did we promote? When you look at it from a different perspective, no emotions, just like the corporations do. Remember when you come to work 8 to 5, you're not bringing your, oh my God, if I make this call, my world is going to collapse. You're just making the call because you get paid for this, right? You come to work, you like no emotion. I mean, you do have emotions, but not the emotions that the same emotions as entrepreneurs have. Waking up every morning, believing in your dream and all that good stuff. So remove the emotions. Look at your books properly, meaning like, okay, if you earned, let's say, made this month $1,000, but you spent 20, great. Did you spend that money on something that's going to matter for your business long term? And if not, then it's okay. You kind of make a better decision next month.
I love that. I never really looked at it this way because since I was a child, I had no choice. I have to take math in school, but math is not my specialty. So that's not something like, for me, if I get an A in math, it's like I cry thank you to God for a whole week that I got an A because that's how much I didn't like math. And even when it comes to taxes, like I'm one of the business owners that's, again, freaked out about it. It's like, oh my goodness, I gotta pay all $50,000 to IRS. I gotta do all these things. I never really, like you said, I never really looked at how much money the company makes. I focus more and I have to pay all that money. That's what I focus on, right? And at the end of the day, I focus on the other thing. What about if this is not right? Something is wrong and I'm going to get audited and I'm going to get in trouble. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to end up in jail somehow for something I did. I didn't even know I did it. So it's all these things pop up in her head. So now that brings me to another question. What can we use as women in business, especially when math, certain things are not our specialties? What can we do to remove that stress away to calm ourselves saying it's okay, we'll be just fine?
So being raised in the engineer's family, my mom is, radio mechanic, so it's all physics and energy and radio. My dad is runs the train drivers and all that good. So it's all about very mathematical, very exact black and white, right? And also I saw how my mom can take care of the headaches just holding her hands like this. With master's degree, she would do stuff like this. So what I experienced is clear, I see, I believe, versus she does this voodoo thing and people get better. Right. So that was one seed in my head. And then when I started my own company, Serebrin Group, and I have the bookkeeping and tax preparation services within this company. So when I started looking at the financials for a lot of entrepreneurs, I noticed the difference. And you won't believe, because I look at this, it's just like, okay, two startups in the same industry. One is doing so much better, and we're talking about 50, 100% more growth-wise. And I was like, okay, wait, they could be on the same street, and there is some difference. And I was like, okay, so what's the difference? And then when I talk to them, I can see the difference. The difference is always in mindset, positivity versus that, like, oh my God, everything is a struggle. Everything is difficult. Clients don't like me. I don't have enough clients, and all that thing, I feel it drags them down. So my invitation and advice to women especially, connect to your feminine side, connect to whatever source, universe, spirit you have, and just stay there. So meditation, go for a walk, take care of yourself, choose yourself. When I got on a plane, the first time flying here almost 20 years ago, and the flight attendant showed the case, well, if you're traveling with a baby, put the mask on yourself first, and then the baby, it was shocking for me. There was no way, the way I was raised, a mom would put that mask on herself or the baby first. This is so, that's how we are all raised, it looks like. So the second you take care of yourself and you're complete, and what I mean by complete is just like you had a good sleep. You had a good breakfast. You maybe meditated, or you just said something like, oh my God, this day is amazing. My numbers is going to be so easy. And taxes, oh my God, taxes are so much fun because I don't know anything about taxes, but I trust my tax person, or I know that the system in the United States is more fair than in any other countries that I know of. And I'm so grateful to live here and enjoy this freedom. And thank you. And the second you are in all this, like in the bubble world, right? I swear something happens. You just have this energy. People get attracted to you. You get new clients. You don't know where they're coming from. And if you experience little things like, sometimes, and I see that magic in my business, sometimes you just budgeting, but you're kind of, oops, somebody didn't pay on time, or the check didn't clear on time, or something happened. And you're like, okay, so money will come. And it's all going to work out. And then you go and you either find a little penny, or some new clients show up and they pay up front. It's like little things like this. And the second you start believing it, they just keep flying at you. So just remember your positivity and your energy is everything. If you feel like you're not feeling the feeling, because we are not these positive flies all the time, just go and do something for other people. Just focus out. Go donate your time, or go just buy somebody a coffee, or do something that nobody expects you to do. Another way.
No, I think that I can actually relate to what you just said. I remember posting on social media for my personal profile. That was the hardest things for me to do. I don't have anything to say to people. They're not going to listen to me. Millions of people are posting every day. Why should I care about that? But I push myself to at least do it once a month. That was my goal. Once a month, I post something on social. Whatever comes into my head, I'm going to type it down and I'm going to post it. And I was surprised. People actually comment or send me a message about it or say something. And I was like, oh, people do want to listen to what I have to say. Okay, I'll try to do better next time. So I think when you say that, it's the mindset. When you change the mindset that, yes, I do have a message. Yeah, I do have something I want to say to people. Yes, people will listen because they care enough. Then I think that make the difference. And as women, sometimes I think we carry a lot around as well. And so much in the head, from families to friends to business. And we bottle it up all together, and sometimes we just get lost. And I think having other women like yourself that's there to kind of like, hey, no, you can change this. You don't have to think that way. And I think that's the reason why women like you exist, to push the one that's down up. And maybe one day you get down, another one will push you up. So I guess we need each other at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And also I invite you, if you see good news, be so happy. If you see, hear the news like the company is making a record in their gross revenues, great, you're on this frequency that you can see that. And if you hear something that's like, the market is crashing, somebody is doing something bad, bankruptcy and all that good stuff, slow down and stop. Why are you hearing those news? So have that as a sign a little bit for yourself. So, okay, which means that usually in my experience, which means that I did not take care of myself. During tax season, we're like tax junkies, it's just like, let's bring it, let's 15-hour a day, let's do it, turn on the music, let's rock and roll this tax return and let's just have so much fun. But you cannot run like this for a long time, right? So another invitation to all of you guys, the deadline is October 15th. Bring all your stuff to your tax people. Have them enough time. Make sure that they have enough time to go through your stuff. Don't do it the last moment.
And also, if they don't have someone to do the tax, that's something you can help them with. Which brings me to your company, which is you help business owners in Los Angeles area, correct? Individual and businesses as well. So can you tell us more about the company and all the services it offers?
Absolutely. So my team helps startups or the seasoned entrepreneurs. And while I focus on the women, because that's where I step up and I will show them, or at least I will hug them, because a lot of men don't actually care about taxes. They are not scared. They don't have that fear, right? Yeah. And that's why I was like, okay, ladies, we have so much potential. We have so much strength. We deliver babies. Some of us without epidural. None of the men can do that. So what is it about taxes that we all get scared of? So this is my mission, to literally come and say, if you're scared, come and let us help. Remember that tax preparation, bookkeeping services, it's not a burden. It's an expense, which means that you put it on the tax return, you get a deduction, and you make sure it's the price for your peace in a lot of situations. That remember when you remove that fear and the darkness, because you know that your tax preparer did a really good job, you double check. I love clients who actually want to know what's happening with their businesses. Nice. They look at their numbers. They're like, oh my God. They call me and say, look, I did really well this quarter. Let's plan something. I also help businesses who have been, developing and growing. And right now, a lot of ladies are sitting on a pile of cash. And they're like, now what? Right? This is where the fun starts, because we are creating the generational wealth. And by that, I mean that we not only make sure that our family is really set, But we also set up an example for our children and grandchildren. Just come in and value what we created and know how to support it and carry it, right? And not only just for our families, but for our communities. So my team, we do the bookkeeping, making sure that you guys know how to read the financials, because this is the evidence of your amazing work, right? And the next step is like taxes. The reason why taxes are fun because it's a puzzle.
True.
And no surprises. Do you think that all the stars here in Hollywood or in LA or, all these magnates, do you think they actually have surprises with taxes, tax liability? No, never, almost never, unless there's something unexpected happens. So why should you be surprised with either huge tax liability or the tiny little refund and you plan to get more? You shouldn't. So find somebody local, go do some research in terms of like, what should I know about my business? Let's just don't put our head in the sand. Just remember, if you started the business, you have a little baby to take care of, right? My business is my baby. None of us as women, as mothers, want our babies to have dirty diapers. And that's where bookkeeping, cleanup, and tax prep comes in. And so make sure that you have the diaper clean, right? And you know that your baby can continue growing. And sometimes the financials might show you like, maybe you've chosen the wrong path, but it's a good lesson. It's a good start. Let's shift and go.
I like that. But also when it comes to your company, so you provide the accounting year round or just at the end of the year?
It's a year round. So monthly, what we do is what I like doing. So it's either the clients provides us access to the bank accounts or just sends us the bank statements. I love QuickBooks. I'm not on commission with QuickBooks, but this is the program that I've started from desktop to online, and I see the changes and improvements in the program. So we just support making sure that everything is classified properly. And if something comes up and I don't like it, meaning like it's a red flag for me, I would call the client. It's like, hey, what's up with this? And this amount is too big. So what happened? What's happening? Update me. Because if you update me before while it's happening, I can make sure that your tax situation is a little bit better, right? So it's a monthly service. Bookkeeping service. We do the quarterly plan, kind of calculations and estimates and updates for you, and the tax prep at the end of the year. So
you handle everything pretty much.
Yeah, it's a business management back office support where if you need us to pay the bills, we can take care of that as well. So everything that relates to money, taxes, keeping your flow so you can focus on what you do best.
But also you can do the owner individual tax.
Yes. Mm-hmm. The best part is I see you, not in a creepy way, but in a way that, I see you personally, what income streams you have on the personal side, and I see your business. And this is where the different types of entities come in. Let's say you can be you can get the best result with a S corporation, right? Just because I know what's happening personally. And we can make sure that you pay just enough tax and not a penny more, because nobody wants to pay and keep that chunk of money with the IRS so they can make money on your money, right? So you can move that and actually invest or put it back into your business. So answer your question, yes, individuals, corporations, single member LLCs, or partnerships. I do not do trusts because this is a separate beast, and I haven't had experience with this, so I do have people who I can refer to. So but the rest is we can handle.
So now let's talk about financial. So let's say that you do QuickBooks for monthly. You see your clients going, probably in January we was making 20,000. February dropped down. March dropped even more down. So do you actually kind of bring these things off to them saying, hey, there's a big difference between this right here. Maybe there's something you can look into to see what you are doing wrong. Is that the things that you can advise them as well to make sure that they know that the company is going down the hole pretty much?
So usually, I like talking to my clients. I have a Facebook group, Accounting Tax with Jen, every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific time for 30 minutes, or if you need more. I invite people, my clients, or whoever is in my group, that just to jump on Zoom call and run some questions.
Nice.
So whatever you have, it's open hours. Anybody can join. Anybody can hop in and ask questions. And if there are questions just specific for your business, I just log the room. It's just you and me. Right. So let's just kind of run you through what we do. You come as a new client. We make sure that we know exactly what's happening. We bring your bookkeeping to current. And what's going to happen every month, the month is over by the first or second week of, let's say right now, we already are done with the profit and loss and balance sheet for the month of August. So when I review that, I can see, okay, what happened before and after, and I see the changes. Also, if there is something that unusual, we usually ask, hey, there is like this month, we have some Uber charges, and we have never seen Uber charges. And the way they're presented on the bank statement is kind of weird. Are you sure that you actually, use Uber in that area? And I know that you live in Washington, and the Uber was somewhere in Mexico or something like this. So there is always communication just to make sure that we classify all the expenses or all income properly. And for example, my entrepreneurs sometimes love to commingle. And commingling is when you use your own money, you put that in business, and then vice versa. And it's a big, big no-no, not only for the IRS, because they can come and, just kind of tell that, okay, you're commingling, we're not going to allow you to deduct these expenses. It's a big mess. However, just think about your bookkeeper. They are having so much trouble trying to identify what belongs to the company and what belongs to you. And at the end of the day, who pays for this? You pay. We're happy to help you. But you get to pay for this, for the time, right? So my advice is why don't we keep everything separately? Church and government. Just make it clean. And if sometimes accidentally you use the card, and my clients already know, Jenia is very serious about commingling, they would just okay, so I'm calling, and I guess I just scared them that much. I'm calling you just to let you know that I accidentally used this card. So please, 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 don't be upset and just book it,
Actually, it's kind of funny. The opposite usually happens to me. I will go Home Depot or Office Depot mostly to go shopping for the company, which we need supplies. And I end up using my personal card instead of using the company card. And until I got home and I'm like, oops, my bad. I didn't make a boo-boo.
So what you do in this case, you literally write a little memo to yourself and to your bookkeeper saying just to let you know, on this date, I spent this much money, and here's the copy of the receipt at Home Depot, and as the office expense, and blah, blah, blah. And so please have the company reimburse me, right? And you literally yourself move that money back from the company to you personally. So I have the paper trail saying okay, so on the financial, it's going to be wash, right? So there's going to be zero, the other way around. Sure. It's going to be a deduction on your business, right? But you're going to get reimbursed, and you will not be taxed on that amount, right? Because when the company gives you money, there is always if I get a deduction, somebody should report income, and vice versa. If I get an income, somebody should take a deduction.
But then that got me to when we talk about also 941, 940, which is something we need to file quarterly and pay taxes every month. Is that something you also help your clients with?
Payroll. Okay, so ladies, gentlemen, whoever is watching, the toughest, the most, I wouldn't say scary, but the most complicated, the most watched by the IRS or the state government taxes are payroll taxes. The reason for that it's not your money. It's your employee's money, right? So what happens when you cut yourself a salary check or to somebody else, there are some withholdings from that paycheck, right? So the gross receipts, let's say $1,000, and then you pay a specific amount to your federal income tax, state income tax, Social Security, and Medicare, right? So your paycheck net is tiny, right? You, as an employee, you get that net in your bank account, you're good. But the company actually keeps the money, all the withholdings, and the company is responsible to moving that money from the bank account to the IRS or to Social Security, to the state, right? At the end of each quarter, you're supposed to file the Form 941, which is a payroll return, right? And you're supposed to pay tax. So the employee, usually it's a payroll tax, Social Security, and Medicare. The employee pays the portion and you match it. All this needs to be precise, literally by pennies, because it's going to come back. It's right now the company is fiduciary for this specific amount. If for some reason you fail to do that, you're in trouble. You don't want to have the trouble like this, because the IRS, the whatever local agencies will come after you and they'll make sure that you pay, especially, all these wages, because not the wages, the withholding to Social Security, Medicare, income tax, federal or state. So please be careful. If you don't know what you're doing, go to payroll providers like ADP, Paychex, or run the payroll through QuickBooks. QuickBooks actually can do that. I do not recommend you to do it yourself, because you're going to mess up, right?
That's true.
We do that. I usually, in my company, I advise people, my clients, to use the enhanced version of QuickBooks, because it prepares those reports quarterly, 941 on its own, right? So all you need to do is just to double check, sign, press, and it gets e-filed. Easy. Use the programs for that. Don't do it yourself. Or there are really amazing skilled bookkeepers. They can do that if they actually specialize in payroll. If they're not, run.
But that's something you do, right?
Yes, we do that. Again, I don't do calculations myself.
You use QuickBooks.
I would use QuickBooks, and let's just we can't make the calculations. Let's just say you have an S corporation, and usually you would get paid one check at the end of the year, depending on your personal situation, the company situation. There's a lot of little, back and forth, and we can create that bonus check for you with all the withholdings, and we can do that if needed.
But when you said that, don't let anyone just do it, and I think I agree with you on that, because I met so many women that suffering with just that. And that, for me, that is something that's very important from day one for me when it comes to taxes, because I do not like to deal with the IRS. You said IRS, you give me headache. Not only, if you tell me you just got a letter from the IRS for me, if my CPA said that to me, I'm not going to sleep until I meet you. You need to tell me right away, because I want to know what it is. And 99.9% of chance is because our address is so long. So every time we send a paperwork in, something in, automatically they will tell us we update your address. So they will send that mail in. So, but for some reason, I never get used to it. So I still, every time we got a letter for you, oh crap, I'm in trouble. So it's always like that. So I will say that pay your taxes on time. Especially for the fees, because they can get very high. The interest rate can get very high. And I think that one mistake that I made is one time I didn't know, actually, I need to pay payroll taxes every single month. That was my first time ever doing it. But I didn't do it every month. I did it for the 3 months in general, and I paid them the entire 3 months together. So they come back and say, I owe them money. I'm like, how can I owe you money when I pay you the entire quarter together? So we had a huge argument over the phone, nicely way. I tried to be nice to them, but me trying to figure it out. And then one lady finally took the time to explain it to me. No, you're supposed to pay it monthly. That's how you have it set up for your company. So you need to pay it monthly. I'm like, oops, I wish somebody said that to me before. I didn't know. So that was one of the mistakes that I made with the IRS. And that time I had to pay a fee, but I didn't know she removed that fee for me. And until I was talking to my CPA, and my CPA said, well, number one, you shouldn't do that. It's a very low amount. It's under $100. So she'll just pay it off and be done. And we're talking that happened back in 2016. That was the first time I first opening the company. But again, like you said, it's get a professional help. And at the end, that first quarter, after that, I let my CPA handle everything. I don't want to deal with it anymore. So I think it's the best to just get a professional to support you, and someone you can trust, especially someone who knows numbers. So I go for her since she's a number lover. If I tell you I'm going to do your taxes, run, by the way, because I don't like numbers.
Right. Just a little advice for all of you guys. If you get a notice from the agencies or government, IRS, it doesn't matter. Okay, so first, what I tell to my clients, basically, breathe. It's all gonna be okay. So number one, 19, sometimes, like they don't even see that the letter is not addressed to them. Something, the address is wrong, the federal tax ID is wrong. Like there could be glitches in the IRS system, right? So with the COVID, with a lot of distant working, when the IRS had to lay off a lot of people, they have backed up. There is a lot of tax return that is still being in process. There are some payments that haven't been applied. So if you get a notice and you know that you paid, so you did your part. I remember that when you call, sometimes I stay on the phone for 6 hours, right, waiting for that being, and we have a special line as tax prep people. So when you call, before you call, just get into this really good energy. There is a person on the other side of the line. They also have a family and it's their job. Yes. They just check the boxes. Sometimes you get flagged, or I call it you get to be discovered, just because you pretended not to know something like you said, oh, I didn't know, which is not an excuse. We all play business game. Do you want to play this game well? Go learn the rules. No hiding, meaning taxes are scary. Then why are you in business? Are you actually serious? Do you want to get rich? Do you want to make an impact? Okay, put your big girl panties on. Look at the notice. It's just like, okay, great. What do I need to learn from this? Okay, so I forgot to do, like you said, I didn't know, which is okay. I didn't know. When you call and you have this energy, you know what? I am so grateful for you guys. You just saved me so much money in terms of when I was growing and learning. Right now, the penalties is not as high because my firm is going to make an impact and bring a lot of money in revenue. So remember, if you're not learning at this level, at the higher level, there's higher taxes, higher interest rates. Everything is higher, right? Everything is at stake. So be in that energy and literally say, thank you. I'm here to learn. How can I do it better? What else can be done? Is there any publication that you recommend me to look at and read and put it on a schedule? Everything, like I said, 2 + 2 = 4. No emotions. Nobody's sitting there waiting, with that laugh. I got them all with this notice. Nobody's sitting on that line on the other line and waiting for you and makes fun of you there. You should see sometimes when you call on behalf of the client, you say oh my God, and they're like, yes, let's help them. Let's figure it out, especially when it comes down to theft identity kind of stuff. The lady last time was amazing. I called for the client and she made sure that all paperwork was filed. Everything was in proper order. This is where I want all business owners to go to. And it starts with you. You come with attitude, you get an attitude.
You're done. That's one thing I learned from them when I call them is I ask them, how's your day? Even when they tell me their numbers, I let them finish that. And I say, hi, my name is that. How are you doing today? I just have a quick question. Can you help me? And one time I called them, it's because we pay payroll and then They send me a letter, say they never receive it. They couldn't track where the money is, but I know the money is off the bank. So my CPA spent a few times with them, but at the end I end up like, you know what, I can fix this myself. I can call them, try to figure it out. And I stayed in the line with one lady for 3 hours. She's supposed to left work, but she stays with me for 3 hours trying to figure it out. And at the end, it was too COVID. She figured out they took that check, they deposited to somebody else's account. So that's the reason why they don't have that money. And they're telling me I owe them money and I owe them a bunch of penalty. So she has to request her supervisor to remove that money from one account, put it in hold where she can go apply it to my account to fix the issue. But again, she was nice. And the whole time we were laughing, we were talking about music, we were talking about travel, and we had fun for 3 hours. She helps me. So I guess that's being nice. Like you said, take a deep breath. When I'm going to call them, let's do this. And I put a smile in my face. If I get a one that's mad or pissed, sometimes I'll say nice things. I'll be like, so how's your day so far? How's your weather for you? It's so hot here. And then he'll start talking. And I said, you know what? I understand why you're frustrated. Probably you had a client before me that was very mean. And he's like, how did you know? I'm like, well, I can feel it in your voice. He's very frustrated. And look at it this way. It's, again, like you said, they have a family too. And sometimes they just get bad client and they're not trying to pass it on to you. It's just, they get frustrated. If you can help them say, hey, I'm different and let's have a conversation. And you'll be surprised the help you get. But again, that got me to you founded a summit, the Abundance Summit. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes. So looking at my life and looking at literally analyzing when I'm in a good mood, a lot of things are just flowing to me and I'm just jamming. And when I'm not in a good mood, you probably don't want to be around me because I will jam you. So, and I don't even know how it was born, but I decided to create the online summit, and it's called the Abundance Summit, where I interview 20 amazing coaches, speakers on quantum physics, law of attraction, energy, anything that can help me and my viewers to relax, release this control, this need for control, and just enjoy the process, right? So that only helped me to create a better relationship with my partner, with my daughter, with my other kids. It's just better relationship with me. And I have no idea where I'm going with this, but I know it supports me. And it also, I get the feedback that it supports whoever following me. So we did one summit in May, and then in August, in December, we're going to have the summit number 3, the same area, we're just going to go for it. And for some people, it's it sounds strange to hear from a tax accountant who is very analytical, very straightforward, black and white, to actually go and talk about quantum physics or law of attraction. But guys, let's just for a second think, when you wake up really in a nice mood, everything just flows and you just keep jumping and skipping to work, right? But sometimes, and this chain reaction, and you see that money is flowing, you get a coin, you just like, you radiate this positive energy. And if you wake up in a bad mood, just everything,
dark, right? Look like this.
Right. And it's like you try to put makeup and the hair is not standing the way, right? And there is a car trouble. There is like employee who is just getting on your nerves. So being analytical, that interests me so much, because even when I look at the financials for my clients, I see the difference, positive, negative. When my firm is making more money when I am in this energy. And I'm here to create, I'm the first generation. So I am growing this big tree where my kids can see that it all depends on the choices. You can always change your mindset. You can always change your mood. And I always tell my son is just like, okay, I know you didn't want to clean up my dog's poop. So you wanted to play on the computer. But the deal is, like, if you don't do a good job, you don't do the best, you're going to lose the internet because internet is a privilege, and you make a choice, right? So he comes in and he's all pouting and all that stuff. I was like, okay, great. Love you for this. Love you. However, are you making a really good choice right now because you're sitting like this, just like what I was when I was little, and you're all this, like, you don't have the internet, you're half of the poop is still there, right? I'm not particularly happy because setting an example and doing 100% in, and it's just like, responsibility for their actions. So bring that into the business world. You want to be successful, you want to be acknowledged, you want to be in compliance, you want to know what's happening, you want to be content and peaceful when it comes down to your financials and the taxes. Let's just stop doing stuff that doesn't feel good to us, because it does not. If you do something that, on a border business or personal, and you try to squeeze it on the business, you can do it, but just remember that little aftertaste. Yes. And do you want to live with that, right? So again, it's a choice, right? So if we make a choice that my business is so legitimate that nobody can come and say there's something wrong, bring all the audits. I am going to lay out everything that I've done. I'm going to stand high, and I'm just going to welcome you to run through my numbers and enjoy it. You see what I mean? And you're going to be feeling, you're going to be proud. You're going to be, you just generate this energy that the auditor will come in and like, she's perfect. Awesome. So, I don't know. I took you completely. I don't even remember the question at this point, but being responsible, and you have the choice at all the time. Not making a choice is also a choice. Let's just not forget that. So let's make a choice to be rich. Let's make a choice to be happy. Let's make a choice to be a nice person. Let's make a choice to be a brave and responsible business owner. And go with it.
For the summit, is that something you do online or is it in person?
It's an online pre-recorded summit. So what I do, I invite 20 speakers, and for 30 minutes, they're talking about their areas of expertise, and literally like, okay, how quantum physics can help you in your business, how it can help you with your health, with your love life, with your relationship, or with just yourself, right? And they literally tell the stories, or they give the little practical tools or little journals, meditations. I use the meditation from one of my speaker like almost every day. And I just like her voice. And she literally says, there's a music and a really nice voice. And she literally says, repeat after me. You do not, I release the need for control. I can support other people, but I don't need to make a choice for them. So for all of us who decided at some point that we only the ones who can make a difference in the world and other people cannot carry all that burden, release it. Trust that other people can do that too, right? So sign up for the summit. Look at all these speakers, amazing quantum physics guys. They are talking about like whatever you can envision, send that energy, atoms and all that little like gibberish things for me, and you get what you give. Fascinating stuff. And the more and more we do that, the more and more you just like can shift from negative energy to positive. So that's all about the Abundance Summit. Abundance, not in the money, but in that like
the energy.
Mm-hmm.
So how can they sign up for it?
You just get to find me somewhere. We're going to be promoting probably the second week of November. For Summit 3, if you'd like to reach me, it's Jenia at JeniaSerebrin.com. So my first name and then my first name and last name. Send us a request to get added to our, email blast where we talk about money, how amazing to do the gardening so you can see the growth just like in your business. I have an amazing marketing team. These girls understand what I talk. And then they put that in nice writing. This is for me, outsourcing. It could be for you, outsourcing bookkeeping. So use your strength for what you're good at and leverage other people for what you're not good at. Yes, so find me, Jen Serebrin, on Instagram. I believe Jenia Serebrin on Facebook. Reach out to you. They're so much easier these days to find people. Or just type something like numbers are easy and taxes are fun.
That would be you. So before I let you go, what advice would you give to individuals and small business owners looking to navigate the finances more effectively?
Well, decide that you're good at that. Just decide. It doesn't matter. Just go for it. Start, and then what happens, the second you decide to believe in it, that it is already going to happen, something is going to come into your world. Like it's either the really good bookkeeper or the tax person. And especially, I would love for everybody to find a person close by, local, so you can actually go touch them. Right? If you cannot touch, right now Zoom allows you to talk and see each other.
Yes.
Right. Next, my advice would be like, let's just stop hiding. Numbers are really, it's nothing personal. It's just 2 + 2 = 4. The same thing. If you spend more money, okay, by the way you do one thing, you do everything. So if you're a big spender in your personal life, in your business, you notice that you also spend more money than what you make. Right? So stop it. Just freeze for a second and start developing new habits. The new habit could be, okay, so every time I make a purchase, I'm going to ask myself a question: will it take my business to the next level or not? Or is it something that I can I don't need, right? So the second you start making conscious decisions and choices, you will see the difference. And the last thing, just go for it. It's just go for it. You're going to figure it out. Don't stop. There will be days when you're kind of down a little bit. Everybody has it.
Yes.
The best part of it is like you can get up next day and you're going to rock it. Surround yourself with amazing people, entrepreneurs who have done what you want to do. Just go. They love sharing their experience, and they're going to hug you with everything, and they're going to tell you on the bullshit that you're creating in your own head. So hire coaches. Go for it. You're going to you're going to shrink the time versus when you do it alone. When you hire a coach, they're going to push you, they're going to shift you, they're going to, put new ideas in your head that you have never thought of. So don't be alone. Entrepreneurship is not the lonely game. Join us.
Well, thank you so much, Jenia, for giving me the chance to have this conversation with you. I have so much fun. I don't even want to end it, but unfortunately we do, because it's a lot of information for business owners in a small almost 1 hour. So I thank you so much for giving me the chance to learn more about your work, but also to share it with our communities and other people that will be listening to the podcast as well. And for what you are doing, especially for women, because we need more women standing for us. Like you said, men are not scared of numbers. And when you show them that you're scared, they're looking at you like, So another woman understand why you're scared and can help you get out of that scared and be in a comfort zone where you feel okay with it, because now you have someone that have your back. Absolutely. I thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Female Founders Podcast. That's it for this week's episode. Be sure to follow us on your favorite podcast app or connect with us on womel.com so that you don't miss our next episode. See you next time. Bye for now.